1998, année de tous les espoirs pour une ère nouvelle de coopération Maurice-Afrique du Sud. Celui qui sera le porte-drapeau par excellence de cette amitié retrouvée, un homme, une légende vivante, symbole d'une lutte pour la liberté de son pays et par extension du continent africain dans son ensemble, Nelson Mandela. Accueil exceptionnel pour homme exceptionnel. On parlait de rendez-vous avec l'histoire au moment où Nelson Mandela foulait le sol mauricien. Accompagné de son épouse Graça Machel, c'est un grand monsieur à la simplicité déconcertante qui a été accueilli par le Premier ministre, le Dr Nabil Ramgoolam, aux côtés de son épouse Vina Ramgoolam. Le monde avait alors les yeux braqués sur le pays, ouvrant un nouveau chapitre de son histoire avec l'arrivée de ce grand chef d'État qui avait changé le destin de sa patrie, la conduisant sur la voie de la démocratie non raciale après plus de 27 ans passés en prison, surtout à Robben Island. Dans le pays, tous les moyens furent déployés pour faire de cette visite un événement continental d'intérêt mondial. Un accueil dans la plus pure tradition mauricienne, accolades, garde d'honneur, solennité, tout y était pour graver cette visite présidentielle dans l'histoire du pays. Événement diplomatique de taille, coïncidant avec le sommet de la SADC à Maurice, précisait le chef du gouvernement, le Dr Nabil Ramgoolam, qui faisait état d'un géant du XXe siècle foulant le sol mauricien.
Finalement, extrêmement important pour notre pays sur le plan diplomatique. Là, aujourd'hui, il y a une visite historique du président Nelson Mandela. Cette visite officielle commençait demain, mais il est rentré aujourd'hui, comme vous connaissez, dans l'après-midi. Et après, juste après, nous sommes au sommet du SADC. Comme tout le temps, nous dire qu'avec mondialisation, il est extrêmement important pour un petit pays comme Maurice d'être très actif sur le plan international. Et ça contact personnel qui nous développé avec les autres chefs d'État ou les chefs de gouvernement, c'est une importance capitale. Je peux dire un des plus grands géants du XXe siècle pour fouler le sol mauricien. Depuis la libération du président Nelson Mandela en 1990, le gouvernement Maurice finissait plusieurs fois faire Living Maurice. Et moi, je suis bien content qu'il vienne répondre favorablement à mon invitation. Comme je tout connais, d'ailleurs, il développe une relation très chaleureuse, très personnelle entre moi et lui. Et depuis que je suis Premier ministre, j'ai eu l'occasion de travailler avec lui plusieurs fois et ça me permet de moi aussi de réaliser ce chazesse, ce tolérance qui est dans cette vision et qui conseille un grand homme d'État. Comme moi, je suis à la visite officielle, je compare avec Gandhi. Je dis qu'il y a un jour, pour tout ça, difficile à réaliser. Qu'il y a un jour comme mon président Mandela, une foule, une mort sur la terre. Moi, je crois que les gens comme lui, bon Dieu, pas voyer tous les jours.
Quel parcours pour ce fils du sol africain, né le 18 juillet 1918, pour incarner l'espoir d'un monde libre. Tout commence pour lui en 1944 au sein de l'African National Congress Youth League. En 1952, il devient vice-président de ce mouvement. L'objectif est de tenir tête à la politique discriminatoire du gouvernement blanc de l'époque. C'est le coup d'envoi de la politique de résistance pacifique contre l'apartheid de triste mémoire. Son arrestation survient en 1962. À son retour d'Addis Abeba, Nelson Mandela est traduit en justice en 1963 pour sabotage et conspiration visant à renverser le gouvernement. Il est condamné à vie le 12 juin 1964. Nelson Mandela émergera comme le leader naturel du mouvement de libération de l'Afrique du Sud, le symbole universel de la résistance contre le racisme. Dans le sillage du démantèlement de l'apartheid par le président Frederick de Klerk en 1990, il est libéré. En 1993, Nelson Mandela obtient le prix Nobel de la paix. L'année suivante, il est élu président de l'Afrique du Sud après la victoire de l'ANC aux premières élections démocratiques du pays. Une légende est née. C'est un Nelson Mandela fidèle à son image de rassembleur que l'on découvre ensuite à l'Assemblée nationale. Un homme plein de sagesse, partisan de l'unité dans la diversité, soulignant la vision commune de son pays et de Maurice en faveur des citoyens.
Honor and a privilege to have the opportunity to address the representatives of the Mauritius nation, which nonetheless has its own distinct Mauritian identity, is an inspiration to all South Africans. In a world in which new forms of discrimination and prejudice are emerging and generating violence and insecurity in many parts of the world, this proud celebration of unity in diversity is a beacon of hope. It is consistent with the solidarity of Mauritian people with our struggle. With your help and that of the international community as a whole, we have entered a system that used the diversity of South Africans to pit one against the other and deny the majority their basic rights. As we build a new nation out of the rich tapestry of our cultures, we are committed to realizing those principles of tolerance and mutual respect and unity which your nation represents. For us too, there is also great pride as Africans in the fact that with this rich heritage and situated far from the coast of Africa, you became African not by virtue of geography, but by choice. That this is not some distant intellectual exercise or a matter of mere convenience is clear from the role of Mauritius in regional and continental affairs. We have noted before the role that Prime Minister Ramgoolen played as an African leader when he championed the cause of the continent at the previous ACP-EU Successor Agreement Summit. Even though Mauritius, like South Africa, is among the newest of members of SADC, her active participation in the upliftment of our region is already evident. Mauritius has become a key member in the Strategic Partnership for Regional Development and Economic Integration. There are many countries that speak of democracy almost every day. But where the concept of democracy is a hollow shell, It has been an inspiration to visit a country which has distinguished itself not by military victories or the conquest of others, but for the tolerance it embodies and the stability it enjoys, as well as for its successful pursuit of economic growth for development. On my return to South Africa, I will be able to report to my people that in Mauritius we have a friend indeed and a partner for peace, prosperity, and equity as we enter the new millennium.
It was important that this state visit should have come at this time, and that we have managed to strengthen relations between our two countries. We've talked on all bilateral issues that concern our two countries.
I reciprocate the sentiment expressed by the Prime Minister. And I want to add that Mauritius is a member of many international and regional organizations of which we are members. We share that common link. I have always looked forward to visiting Mauritius, and I gladly accepted the invitation to come here. One of the many reasons for accepting this invitation is to see at first hand the emergence of a rainbow nation here, because that is a situation which is very similar to us, that all the communities in a country should be fully represented in government institutions and institutions of society. And also the spirit of tolerance, which is so strong, so thick that you can cut it with a knife in this country, is something we would like to follow. And these 2 days in which I have been here, I've had then the opportunity to watch firsthand a model which we want to follow. And that has enriched the visit has enriched my experience in that regard. Thank you.
I just wanted to ask you, what do you expect from the summit of SADC that will have
this is a normal summit, which we have had many times in the past. We expect to be able to address the current issues facing SADC, and some of which face the world. And the question of greater unity politically and economically, as well as on the cultural field. And I think that we have produced competent, highly competent, and experienced leaders in this region who are capable of rising to any challenges. They have done so in the past. They will do so from tomorrow, as they will do so for many years in the future.
Mr. President, what's your dream of a peaceful Africa?
What is my?
What's your dream of a peaceful Africa?
Well, it's very dangerous to dream dreams. And but Africa is part of a bigger world. It's part of the world. And the world has now become interdependent. And what happens in one part of the globe immediately has an effect on other countries many miles away. And therefore, the process of globalization is an inevitable process. Just like winter is, we cannot avoid it. And all that we can do is to ensure that that process is not structured to benefit the industrial countries, the big countries, it must also benefit the small countries. And at the present moment, you can see that those who planned that process of globalization insofar as there is a human factor were thinking mainly of the experiences and the interests of the industrial countries. And small countries have in many respects been sacrificed. But that is a challenge that faces the developing countries. And I'm confident that especially after the opportunity and honor we have of hosting Now, that we're able to face those problems.
Mr. President, what would be, according to you, the best way to resolve the ongoing crisis in the Democratic Republic of Congo?
Well, we are discussing this matter tomorrow. And there have been many initiatives that have been taken. Two in the Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe. And on the 22nd and 23rd, we have had a summit in Pretoria, which was attended by the Prime Minister here. And that summit decided that there should be a ceasefire, immediate ceasefire, a standstill of all the troops that are involved in the conflict inside the Congo, and the withdrawal of foreign troops, and the start of negotiations, which we hope will lead eventually to the introduction of a democratic government. That was not all. We set a team which was led by our foreign minister here, consisting of himself and the foreign ministers of Mozambique, Tanzania, and Zambia. And because we stressed that there should be coordination between the summit in Pretoria and the summit that was held in the Victoria Falls. But we also felt that we should coordinate with the Secretary General of the OAU, Salim. And then during the Annam Conference summit, we had another meeting of SADC, and we decided that the parties that have troops inside the Congo must meet to sort out the problems themselves. But the question of the decisions taken as to how to normalize the situation in the DRC, that the implementation of it would then be the task of SADC, working jointly with the Secretary General of the OAU. That is the movement forward which has already been charted. We will discuss the matter tomorrow and we hope to be able to make progress as we have done in the past.
Is it part of this Langa Commission report and the fact that you apparently deploy the troops with the border of Lesotho in South Africa? Is it perhaps to protect South African citizens, or are they stand by in case other conflicts erupt?
No, I don't think that we need to be alarmed about the situation in Lesotho. The Troika, led by South Africa, has done exceptionally well, especially the Deputy President. He has been in Cape Town the whole day, and at night he flies to Lesotho to meet both the government as well as the opposition. He has done exceptionally well. And if there is any trouble, it is limited to the army. I spoke to His Majesty last night, and he told me that the rumors that were circulating, that the Prime Minister had been arrested and that the cabinet ministers had disappeared, was untrue. Because when I spoke to him, he said he had not heard anything about it. And he said he would investigate and come back to me. He investigated and came back to me, and he said he spoke to the Prime Minister. Everything is normal.
Is the perception that the present political situation, both in Lesotho and the Congo, will detract from the economic matters that are going to be raised here? What would your comment be?
Now, if you saw the documents that are going to be presented at conference, you would withdraw that perception, because there's specifically an important document on economic matters, and that document is going to receive the full attention of the summit.
Do you share the view that the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty as being discriminatory?
Has been discriminatory?
As being discriminatory?
No, I wouldn't say so. There are, of course, countries which still retain nuclear capacity, which want to monopolize it. We won't allow them to do that. And they are being hammered left and right. And we want that treaty to bind everybody without any exception. And I have been asked some time back to speak to certain leaders in the world and to request them to comply with the decisions that have been taken in this regard.
Mr. President, there are now much talking about the African Renaissance. I would like to know what's the specific features that you think might lead to the Renaissance.
This is not a matter to be decided upon by any single individual. I may have my own ideas, but if this idea is going to succeed, then the statements that are made, especially in gatherings of this nature, they must again be processed. And we believe in working through organizations and not taking decisions on matters that affect the entire continent. Even when we're sure that what we're saying will resonate in the minds of many opinion makers, we believe that consultation is extremely important, so that when we make a statement, that statement reflects what has been decided by the kingmakers of the continent. And that is our approach to the matter.
Do you not fear that the high crime rate in South Africa will force people to leave the country and that investors will be discouraged by the violence?
Well, it is true that the level of crime in South Africa is unacceptable. People are dying, innocent people are dying, and properties, money, and so on is being stolen left and right. There is a great deal of corruption. But if you follow the statistics of the police, during the last 4 years, they have brought down the level of serious crime considerably. And we have a police force which is very honest, in the sense that they issued a very critical document, the National Crime Prevention Strategy, in which they discussed their disabilities. They say, we lack credibility, we lack legitimacy, we lack capacity to detect crime, because throughout these decades of the struggle, our police were never trained for the detection of crime. They were trained to suppress political dissent. Apart from that, 80% of the security forces of our country were deployed amongst whites, who constitute less than 14% of the population, and only 20% amongst the majority of the population. And in that situation, therefore, crime rocketed, even though it was not doing so for the first time amongst blacks, that is amongst African, colored, and Indians. The level of crime has always been very high. But what is happening now with liberalization is that the criminals also have been liberated to move into white areas. And the whites are experiencing this for the first time. And if you notice, it is mainly the white newspapers that are making an issue of the high level of crime, which is correct. But to the extent that they even ignore the statistics which are issued by a police force which is extremely devoted, which is composed of men and women of integrity, who are doing a good job under difficult conditions. Indeed, some of the people have been frightened by the high level of crime. But we are convinced that the real South Africans are being sorted out in the course of that process, who are saying, this is my country. I am not going to run away from the troubles in my country. I am here to serve my country. And those who leave the country are few and far between. We are also getting investments, notwithstanding that some people may have been frightened. The American ambassador a few months ago gave the figures and statistics to disprove the view that the Americans have now withheld their investment. And he showed that at no time in the history of South Africa have American investment been so large and so forthcoming as they are doing at present.
Nelson Mandela à Maurice, un grand moment de diplomatie bilatérale sur fond d'amitié renforcée entre deux peuples d'une identité africaine partagée.